Today I decided I would talk to you about one of my cousins. His name is Trotter. Some of you may know him by another name. If you have ever heard of a hip-hop group called The Roots, my cousin is the lead MC, Black Thought. Having Tariq as my cousin has presented me many opportunities and experiences. Every year there is a concert called The Roots Picnic that is held here in Philadelphia. Since I am Tariq's cousin, I always have tickets and backstage access to his concerts. This year at the Roots Picnic, while we were backstage, my cousin introduced me to Macklemore. After a while, I jokingly told Macklemore that one day I could show him some cool local thrift shops. He tilted his head sideways and gave me a peculiar look. At that instant, my nerves kicked in and my head was filling itself with so many different thoughts. After a long 3 seconds, Macklemore leaned forward and said, "You know what? We're gonna go thrifting." My heart dropped and I died for about 2 minutes from disbelief, but he continued to look straight at me with a serious face. I looked at my mother because I wasn't sure how she would feel about it, and Macklemore stood there looking confused. I then said, "Well, I'd have to make sure it's fine with my mom first." He looked perplexed and said, "This is your mother? I thought it was your sister the whole time." Flattered, my mom giggled and said, "No, I'm her mother." He then apologized and formally asked if it was okay for us to thrift together. My mom seemed unsure, so Tariq jumped in and told her that she had nothing to worry about. In her motherly and protective voice, my mom said, "Sure, but I need to know where you're going and when you're going and how you're going and who is going and what time you'll be home and what you're gonna eat. I mean, if you ever come home, don't try to run away." And I was like, "Mom, chill, you're embarrassing me." We then made further plans for me to meet Macklemore at his hotel the next day. When I got home, I was still in shock. Am I supposed to be thrifting with Macklemore tomorrow? I paced in my room. What do I wear? Should I only bring $20 and put it in my pocket? I began overthinking everything and anything. The next day came and the thrifting began. So there we were in this sketchy thrift store, and I was trying to figure out how to ask Macklemore what he thought about these jeans I was trying on. But then Ryan Lewis walked in and said he was hungry and wanted the infamous Philly cheesesteak before they went back home. So I told him we have to go to Jim's because it's better than Pat's and Gino's. So we were on South Street in his limo, and this mob of people surrounds the limo, figuring someone famous is inside. Macklemore turned to me and said, "You gotta convince them there's nobody in here." And I'm like, how am I supposed to do that? He said, "You'll figure it out," and pushed me out the door. In my head, I was like, oh my goodness, we're having our first argument. Things are getting really serious. But then my thoughts were interrupted when one of the girls outside the limo said, "Well, who are you? Who are you?" At first, her question made me angry, but then I decided I would play along. So I said, "Oh, English? My name is Okiki, and I'm an African pop star. I was in town because I found my long-lost brother, Abdallah. Have you seen him? Do you know him?" Even though I asked these questions about 4 times, none of them answered. They all stared in amazement like I was an exotic creature, and one of them started to touch my hair. Macklemore then came out of the limo pretending to be my bodyguard and hustled me back in. One of the girls said, "Hey, aren't you Macklemore?" And he said, "No, back up to the limo or I'll tase you all." They all backed up in fear and confusion, and when we got back in the limo, we died of laughter. At the end of it all, I can't believe it happened. I'm pretty sure you're sitting in your seat and you're saying, "I can't believe it either." Well, you don't have to. Why? Because it's not true. Or at least some of it is not true. It is true that Black Thought is my cousin, and I did in fact meet Macklemore, but I'm just another fan that took another picture with him, and he probably wouldn't remember me even if he saw the picture. The other parts of the story were made up to make a point. As leaders of this school, seniors come up and give their senior speech, and you readily accept what we're telling you, and there's nothing wrong with that, because we are all a part of a trusting community. We tell each other about the things we value, the people we care for, our secrets, hopes, and our fears, and it's okay, because we are an accepting community and we're here for each other. But I come to you today to let you know that you have to be careful when you enter the real world, especially the class of 2014. As seniors, we have to realize that not every place will be like SCH. We won't be able to trust everything that we're told, and we won't always be able to share our secrets without getting hurt. So at the end of the day, I don't want you to think of me as a liar, because I'm not one. I just want you to be aware that we have to seek out the truth for ourselves. Question the world around you and find the answers to your questions. Thank you.